Howdy folks, welcome back to Warships with Raz. And yeah, it's been a hot minute since we've done another video, but we're going to do another one on the Italian cruisers, because we got to update, keep up the relevant information, We got to keep relevant to the news and all the crazy stuff that happens, So, we're going to go and talk about these Italian cruisers here. Once again, now, I was able to get the Warship the mods, of course, and put the mods on. We were able to see these ships, so we're actually going to have a good detail of this. This is including, guys, the armor layout and everything else. So guys, let's look into it and see what we can find. It's actually going to be interesting if anything's good, anything's bad, but I'm going to tell you right now, it is crap, and you guys are not going to enjoy this. But because you would think I would be praising these ships, but well, let's just get to it, okay? So the lower tiers always is never much too exciting unless you're actually going to do some memery if you're a competent player who knows what to do. But if you're starting out in this game and you have something like this, I don't know what I can tell you. So tier 1 is always to start off in most ships. It's always been the cruisers. Where's your health? Your armor, 6mm all over, including all this stuff. You don't have technically a citadel, so you don't have to worry about that. Technically, it says right here, there's no citadel. So, I don't know what to tell you. And of course, your guns are dual gun 120s. Alright, now I always have to do it this way to get them going. Tier 2, a lot of single 120s. A couple of 76.2 secondaries, which you could see them right there inside the ship. There's one there, there. So it's kind of an interesting looking ship. Very, very, very sleek design. I actually kind of like the looks of it. Armor wise, again, I like pointing at the armor, especially in this early in these videos. Citadel's quite interesting. It's got a sloped deck, 3mm in here, so I think that's kind of interesting. I'm not saying that this is going to be very powerful. I mean, it's only 38mm. Any large caliber gun can pen the hell out of it, but I'm going to have to say let's see what happens later down when we start getting the initial testing of it. I'm wondering to see if actually it can bounce rounds at any possible angles, because that sounds like an interesting idea. But overall, I'm not actually seeing anything spectacular at tier 2 as well. I mean, even with the upgraded armor, it just increases your health and your AA output a little bit. You actually get some AA in this thing. I just don't see anything spectacular at tier 2. Tier 3, same thing. You do have now this plating here, this 60mm plating right at the waterline, which is, kind of interesting again. There's your conning tower. It's way in front of the bridge. Apparently they like to secure their cargo, their safety of their crew. 150mm guns this time. You do have some, now finally the torpedoes, which are those singles, which are going to actually hide real quick. You'll see those torpedoes in a second. I was about to say, again, it's sloped citadel, 40 mils, and then remember, there is, where is it? Oh, there it is. So you have a 60, and then you have another 40. So just at least with angle, we can do the math. If it's at a certain angle, that's going to be pretty thick armor a little bit. So that's going to be interesting to see how it is. Again, battleships, farther range, doesn't matter. But I'm interested in the cruiser-to-cruiser fight if in that situation. Especially with caliber guns at this size at tier 3. They do reload take a long time. 13 seconds does feel like you're waiting for the end. Tier 4, you do get the dual guns. You actually get a turret now. 152, so now they're going to be those special little beauty little 5-inchers that we all love. But now look at the Citadel. It's flat. 20 millimeters. And you only got another 24, so basically it goes from armored ships to paper-thin ships. Oh, good lord, what is going on? It's just somebody scream, help me, I'm going to die. I mean, you do have a nice, clever, beautiful guns. They do take a while to reload, but I just don't see these things being fantastic already. Again, it's screaming that you're going to die. You might as well just bend over your hands over legs and just kiss your butt goodbye. Yes, you got 13.9 kilometer range on these 5-inchers, which, by the way, 5-inchers, these can be buffed with basic with some of the modules upgrades, you know, like basic advanced fire training. Because if I click, like, let's say Chester, no, we're just looking at here, 139. Those were 152, so those don't count. And again, up to 139. So these don't count as basic advanced fire training. But remember, you could put Demo Expert in there and maybe put Inertia Fuse. I'm just thinking things. But remember that these guns don't have the high explosive too. So you wouldn't do Inertia Fuse on any of these shells. So that won't work either. And Demo Expert wouldn't work either. So do you see where you kind of led to a problem here? You can't burn ships. You can only special AP rounds, which can do more penetrational damage like a British cruiser does in a way, but not. So I don't know what to tell you, folks. And Tier 5 looks like Duca d'Aosta in a way. In a way, it does, very much so. You get the torpedoes again. You have the plane here. You have, again, the 152s again. Upgrading of it. The armor scheme again. Now remember, maximum health we could put in this thing is 26,500 with torpedo reduction of 16%. So if we remove just the plating here is 60 on the plate, then you got another 25 right in there. Now that's flat. It's a flat citadel. So you cannot and should not go broadside in this thing. Again, you'll just get destroyed. This thing has to be carefully driven at far ranges, which your maximum gun range is 14.9. Remember, your concealment as 11.6. So with Conceal Expert, yes, you can kind of get a little stealthy, but you're going to have to use that stealth to best advantage, because if you don't, you're just going to get destroyed in these ships. It's basically a floating citadel, just like any other ship at the lower tiers. But it's extremely fragile. And then we go to Tier 6, which the guns look a little different. They look a little more modern than the Duca d'Aosta is. And yes, they are 203 millimeters, so yeah, bigger guns. I like that. Look at the reload, 16 seconds. And it takes the rotated guns quite a bit. So again, this is making things a little more difficult. Maximum health is 34,500, and your gun range is 16.5, and you got a detectability of 14.5. So you have to be really, really buff in the hiding. And again, look, I'm hiding everything. That's right. The Citadel is exposed on this thing.
Okay. This needs to stop.
That's your Citadel, and watch. Remove everything.
Cancer. This is so
it is
much
flat
cancer
exposed at
that I can
70
feel
millimeters
tumors
of plating.
growing on my back. And it's way
Yeah, that's a call for wargaming. That's you're going to die.
Can you help a nigga out?
Boy.
Just stop this. Please.
Like I said, I want to be actually a person here who's going to actually pray for these ships to actually be cool and fun for you guys to play, but again, Citadel exposed 150 millimeters, so you know that can plate itself and you can bounce rounds a little better. This one I can say you can bounce some rounds, but then look at the thick plating here on the top. You got 20 mil here, and then this. If you're a tier 8 battling a tier 8 ship, carrier, and he drops the AP bombs like Graf Zeppelin or Enterprise. I think has it again. Top of my head, I'm trying to think real quick. As we're speaking in this video, it's got armor-piercing bombs, so that can fuse and hit the Citadel and do massive damage. And the A on these ships, even with the B-hole, 44%, because you got 20 mils over this thing, and this is Italian AA. This isn't American. This isn't British. This is not a lot of the American or allies. These are the Axis powers, and they didn't have the ability to have the Bofors, the 20 mils, and the Ulrican cannons. The 20 mils and the 40 mil Bofors were fantastic during World War II, and rightfully so. 16.1 range with these 203 millimeter guns, which again, reload is another 14.5 seconds, which is not too bad, but I don't think these things are screamingly like fantastic to me. I'm very much feel like just fearing for my life. I mean, these ships look beautiful. I'm not saying that they do not look horrendous. I like the looks of these ships. Sorry, my mouse just glitched there. But that doesn't mean that they're going to be competitive. I don't see anything to make these very, very competitive. The gun type is not going to scream a fantastic thing. Now, if we go to tier 8, now we got like a Roma style gun layout. 2 in the front, 1 in the back, plane in the back. You got the Roma style like single guns on here, the quad torpedoes that go 12 kilometers out into the water at 51 knots. It's not fast-ish. Like if I scroll through our own tech tree, actually I got a better way doing this. Let's see here. Yeah, this will work. We'll use this as a blueprint. If we go to Kid, which is a tier 8, I know Kid's not the best thing, but 55 knots, 9.2 kilometers, and that's Kid, so it's not ginormously fast. We've seen faster. These are slow, long-range Lancers that just are out there to annoy or possibly block a position from somebody going through. And technically, with the concealment, you can drop that down to blind torp. So there is that ability. And your speed's pretty quick, 37 knots. I'll give it that. Your AA tier 8 gets worse with the B-hole. Well, that's interesting. But your health does increase to 42,800. And your gun range do go to 16.1. So you can blind, you can shoot, and then you don't have this blind problem of like I have to be exposed to actually shoot and just be blurring out there. You can push yourself a little further back out there. You're going to be very close in combat. And your armor, oh boy, again, 150. Remove all the plating once again on the top, which you can Citadel. The Citadel is exposed. Tier 9. 150 again. And your Citadel is exposed. And it's 75 on the top of the deck. And you got that plating here. And here. 30. And another 25 here. So, if it hits with an arm-piercing bomb from carriers, it's just going to be devastating. The rating on the AA, though, is nothing to shake a stick at. It goes to 75, so you actually do have a little better on the AA defense to defend yourself against plane attacks. But I'd really say that if they're really going to be determined, they're actually going to get in. And your gun range does go to, this time, 17.1 kilometers, which is pretty good. Pretty decent. Not the greatest. Not the greatest, but remember your Citadel exposed. All they have to do is hit that water line right at that flat plate. 25 front, which is kind of most like every other cruiser in the game. So, again, I don't see these being screaming. And look at the size of the nose. It's just so huge. And all I have to do is get a large caliber gun straight through the nose, and that'll hit through the Citadel 140 millimeters right at the Citadel. Alright, let's just go to tier 10, the last one. This one's actually a little different. It's actually got a 40 mil, then an inside 165. So you definitely have a little better on the plating department on the tier 10. So let's point that out first off. Second of all, 30, and then if we remove that top structure, then it's another 90 on the sides, 90 as well. So if it's an AP bomb, it's going to be problematic. But your AA is 83, and you could buff that technically on paper if you wanted to. But I still say this, okay? So we just basically analyze all these ships, their guns, in layman's sense. I just wanted guys to add you guys a little more detail, and you guys can take a look more at what these ships look like, their armor schemes, the way they look. The lower tier ones have a turtleback style armor. Then it starts getting to a very light armored, flat plated styled ship. Then you have these guns which have semi-far, they're like mid to, I would say mid-range. Because if we did tier 10, and let's talk about, like, for example, one of my favorite tier 10s to play, the Des Moines or the Salem. Same thing, basically. You can upgrade these guns to have a range of 18.4, which is shorter than the other ones. You can then have a reload to 5.5 seconds. You could buff it even more if need be, which you can see here, guys. I could put on the module. I haven't done it yet, but you can decrease the gun range to do reload style. I do gun range, but I would even recommend the reload too. That would be even better some cases. But my point is even this ship, Des Moines, which is mainly a closer range and bring out as much DPS on the target and push him further back as possible. Then you have ships like Hindenburg, which with their buffs, you can go to 20.7. Moskva, 21. Zhao, 18.8. They are further ranges than a lot of these Italian cruisers. They're much more closer range targeting. And you're going to have to get closer. You're going to have to roll out into a fight. And your armor can't do that very well. It's going to punish you excessively for trying to get so damn close. So I don't see these being fantastically very good ships. And they're saying, yep, these guys are ready. They're ready to go. We're going to pull these ships out for you to play. I don't see them to be fantastic, but I'm going to give them more of a benefit of a doubt if the Wargaming says that this is going to be good. And we'll try them out these next few days. I think that we're going to have building in the test server, which I'm going to record some of that over the week. And we'll see what happens. So if you guys are going to watch, just make sure you hit that bell right there. Hit that bell notification. Make sure you guys subscribe so that you can follow up on me looking at these ships on the further part of the line, because Wargaming says that these are going to be fantastically good new ships added to the collection of us to own and play for the standard server. I just want players to actually have something new that's actually going to be fun for everybody to play and add more history to the game. That's my point. But if these aren't going to be any way competitive to any of the other lines of France, Pan-Asian, France, UK, Germany, Russia, Japan, the United States, all these other countries that we've had so far that have been added for the past 4 years, I want something definitely added that just complements everybody in a nice way. And I don't care if it's unique. I just want something that it just adds more fun to the game. That's my point. And if it isn't going to be, what's the point of putting them in if they're not even going to be any shape or form fun or exciting? I'm sure there's going to be a couple good moments. I'm not saying there are not going to be any bad moments with the Italians, but if this is the way it's going to be, I don't see them being ginormously competitive at this rate. Anyway, that's enough for this video. If you guys liked this video, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Write in the comments down below what you think of the Italian cruisers on the way. As always, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.